Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Moncrieff. I am an aspiring writer and university student studying adult behaviour. I make this series to help other people get better at their understanding of ecology. This is the second part this is my second video in looking at predation. If you haven't seen the first, I will link it in the cards, either side, and down below. So I recommend you watch it first. Now, the first thing I'm going to cover is how predators sense behaviour allows for predator avoidance. Now, prey need to balance the time they invest in predator sensing as well as other activities to increase their LRS. Now, LRS is a common abbreviation used in ecology, and it stands for lifetime reproductive success. So bear that in mind, because I will be referring to it as LRS for the remainder of this video. Now, there are many things that are time investing and increases the LRS and the fitness of a species. They are reproduction, the important one, so that these species can continue their genetic line. But before reproduction is needed, they need to find a mate. This takes time and energy, because they won't just find a mate who will appear and want to mate with them. So courting that mate is also a part of the second. Now, the third is parental care, and this is essentially, as the name suggests, looking after the offspring. And now we're going to take a move away from family and reproduction for the last two, and they are so 4 would be selecting a suitable habitat. So finding a good habitat is very important, because they need a habitat that has all the space they need. 4 would be selecting a suitable habitat. So finding a good habitat is very important, because they need a habitat that has all the space they need. So this habitat will also need to provide all the food they will forage or hunt for, and it can't contain too many predators, or otherwise it won't be a suitable home, because they'll just be predated out of the area. And the last one, so number 5, is defending that territory. So this is a very important thing, because once they have put all the time and energy into finding this habitat, they need to defend it. Because if there's a better habitat out there for them, they would have searched that one before this one. And that's very important, because you want the best habitat you can in order to continue your family. The important thing is, if they spend too much time doing just one of these many things, then they will not be as successful as those who are capable to balance everything. So everything that increases their LRS will also put in the equal amount of time in predator sensitive behaviour. Now, there are trade-offs, of course, for these behaviours, especially avoiding predation, because of course the time they take avoiding predators or doing predation avoidance behaviour, because it's a costly investment in their behaviour. They put a lot of energy into it. If they use too much energy in the wrong behaviours, they won't have the energy to put into other behaviours, such as parental care or finding a mate, therefore essentially outweighing the balance and preventing them from becoming as successful as they could potentially be. Now, there are interactions in predator-prey systems. These influences how predator and prey affect one another. These include intra-guild interactions, intra-guild predation, and apparent competition. Now, guild, as in intra-guild predation, are species which share the same tropical level. This tropical level, of course, being the position an organism occupies on a food chain. So you have the primary producer, usually being a plant. You'll then have the primary consumer, which are the ones that consume the producers. You then have the secondary consumer, who consumes the primary consumer, and then third, fourth, etc. Now, intraguild predation is killing and eating a potential competitor or predator. There are plenty of examples of this, such as the larval lacewing fly and the heptarian insects, which prey upon aphids. And a mammalian example would be a large species such as perhaps a wolf or a big cat, who would prey on small species, so foxes, lynxes, who are their competitors, who will eat smaller prey, so it will then be competition for food resources. Now, the first predator will receive benefits from this behaviour. They get a direct benefit from the energy they consume, and indirect through the reduction of exploitation competition. Now, apparent competition is a form of indirect apparent competition is a form of indirect interaction which negatively affects the population growth of one species or the abundance of another species, and this is controlled through the behaviour of a shared natural enemy. So this can occur whether the two species are competing for resources directly. Now, the best example of this is between the grey squirrel and red squirrel and the pine marten. So that is the example I'm going to be using today. Now, squirrel competition is well known in the United Kingdom, with the invasive grey squirrel population having a massive effect on the population of the red squirrel, which is our native species. This is due to a squirrel pox virus, which is asymptomatic to the grey squirrel, who acts as the carrier, and asymptomatic means that the grey squirrel doesn't experience any symptoms from carrying this virus, whereas to the red squirrel, the squirrel pox virus is lethal, so this virus will then kill them. However, there is a relationship between the occupancy and pine marten density and its connectivity for grey squirrels and red squirrel populations. It is found that in areas with pine martens, the population of grey squirrels will decrease, but the reverse will happen with the red squirrels. In populations where the pine marten are higher, there is a correlation with the red squirrels, as the red squirrel population will also increase with the pine marten. So this shows the fact that the pine martens and the grey squirrels are in competition with each other in the area, and pine martens, being a more successful predator, outcompete the grey squirrels. So therefore the grey squirrels cannot survive as high numbers, so their population will decrease. But there isn't that same competition between pine martens and our native red squirrels. So this allows them to live together without it affecting either of their populations. And This will then decrease the grey squirrel population in the area and allow red squirrel populations to increase again. Now this is all I'm going to be covering for today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like. If you want me to cover anything else with predation or have a suggestion for any other topics you wish for me to cover, leave it down in the comment section below. If you want to stay up to date with my channel, please subscribe and ring that bell to keep up to date with exactly when my videos go live. I post videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.